Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So it's game week 3 transfer plans. In this video I'm going to go over how I got on in game week 2, show you how my side's lining up for game week 3 and what my benching and captain dilemmas are, and then I'll show you who's potentially going to get sold this game week. Right, so firstly let's go over how I got on in game week 2. As you can see, I got 55 points in game week 1 and my old rank was 4.2 million. In my starting 11 I got 38 points. PALMER was set to start against West Ham, but he pulled up in warm-up and he didn't start, so he got 0 points, and Pedro Porro came off the bench to get 5 points. So as you can see, I've got 43 points, 98 points overall, but I've got Salah to still play. Hopefully he can get a few points in tonight's match and I can get into triple digit. I'm sure there's a lot of managers that got 2 players from Liverpool and captain Salah as well, so I don't think I'm going to jump up in rank, and I might drop down in rank because there's a lot of managers that have Ekatike, Verts, Gakpo, and then a Liverpool defender in Van Dijk or Kirkes. So I'm 5 points down in game week 1 and I'm 17 points off my target of 60 points in game week 2 and 1 player left to play in Salah as captain. I'm hoping he gets a goal and assist and a few bonus points and he gets them up to 18 points and I go over the 60 point mark, but we will see. I do think I'm going to drop down in rank, but I'm not that bothered at the moment. I think in the next few game weeks I will rise up the rank, so at the moment I'm not that unhappy about it and we'll see what happens. So I did start Sanchez instead of Dubravka and I lost out on 3 points there, but I don't think I would have done any other way. I wasn't that confident in the clean sheet of Burnley to go for double up on them with a Steve as well, so I lost out in 3 points there, and a lot of managers probably did go for Dubravka, but I wasn't feeling it. Then into defence, so Steve kept a clean sheet, so we got 6 points, which is great at 4 million. A lot of managers have him. Then we've got Anderson, who didn't keep a clean sheet against Manchester United, but he got a DEFCON point, so he got an extra 2 points from that, so 4 points. That is the positive for Anderson, that he got DEFCON points this game week, and hopefully he can keep doing it in the next few game weeks. Porro that I benched, but he got 5 points for me. This is why we're building 15-man squad that you think are all going to be playing, because if somebody drops out your side, you want somebody to come in that actually plays and actually gets points, and Porro did that for us. I'll be honest, I didn't think Tottenham would keep a clean sheet away against Manchester City, but Tottenham have done pretty well away against Manchester City in the last few seasons, so it's not a massive shot. I didn't expect Porro to walk away with a clean sheet. I thought if he would get points, it would be from goals and assists, but I was wrong and he actually got them from clean sheets, which I'm happy about. Into the Aston Villa players in Rodgers and Watkins, another game week where they've not scored a goal, so that's 2 game weeks where they've not scored a goal, and they're the only side in the Premier League that not scored a goal, so it is a bit worrying with Aston Villa. I am looking to probably potentially hold on to them for the next few game weeks because the fixtures are pretty good. And then we've got Bruno Fernandes. He got a penalty, he missed it, so he dropped a few points, and then he got a DEFCON point, so he actually got an extra 2 points from DEFCON points. But I didn't spend 9 million on Bruno Fernandes to get DEFCON points, because you could get somebody like Anderson at Nottingham Forest that could potentially do that instead for 5.5 million and save yourself a lot of money. So Bruno Fernandes is somebody that I'm looking at and thinking potentially of selling in the next few game weeks. And then we've got Rinders at Manchester City, who didn't score at home against Tottenham. But I am a little bit worried about Rodri and Foden's minutes moving forward, and does that mean Rinders drops out of the side? So I am keeping my eye on him. And then we've got João Pedro, who got 15 points and he's carrying my side right now. Hopefully Salah can match him. I'll get better in him in tonight's match. But this is the reason why sometimes you don't make a transfer and you just wait and see what happens, because we don't really know what's going to happen in the next few game weeks. João Pedro isn't a terrible signing just because he didn't do well in game week 1, and that's what I'm thinking with Rodgers and Watkins. They've not done that well in game week 1 and 2, but who knows, they could do really well in game week 3 and everybody actually want them for game week 4. So I'm thinking maybe keep Rodgers and Watkins and do the same thing with what I did with João Pedro, give him another game week, because a lot of managers sold João Pedro in game week 2 just because he didn't play the full 90 minutes in game week 1. But I think he assured all the people that have kept the faith in João Pedro that he is worth keeping, because even if he doesn't play 90 minutes, he's still somebody that could potentially get a lot of goals and assists this season. He's looking like a key player for Chelsea, and if PALMER isn't fit, maybe João Pedro plays the number 10, Liam Delap plays up front, and then players like Gittins and Estavo play on the wing, or Pedro Neto, and that could be an option where João Pedro and Liam Delap start again. So I'm not too worried about his minutes going into game week 3, but we will see what I feel like in game week 4 if he doesn't play the 90 minutes. Agabadu didn't keep a clean sheet for Wolves, but he actually got 2 DEFCON points, so he got 4 points on my bench. That is positive, as well as Anderson, that he's actually getting DEFCON points. And then we've got Gui, they got his Sunderland debut. He came on for the last 10 minutes against Burnley when they was losing 1-0, they lost 2-0. So looking at the side for game week 3, I've got 0 in the bank and 2 transfers to use. I do look at my game week 3 side and think it's strong. I've got 10 players out of the 11 that are playing at home. Rinders is the only player that's playing away, and he's away against Brighton, and they've not been the best in defences. I'm happy with my goalkeeper this game week. I'm happy with my defence this game week. Bournemouth, Everton and West Ham at home, I think they should all potentially keep a clean sheet. I'll get DEFCON points on goals or an assists this game week. Heading to midfield and keeping Salah. I know he's at home against Arsenal and that's a hard game, but Salah's Salah, and I think he'll potentially still get goal or assist. And then next we've got Rodgers, and he's at home against Crystal Palace, which isn't the easiest fixtures. Chelsea struggled at home against Crystal Palace the first game week, so Crystal Palace could still turn up and do well, but Aston Villa's fixtures for the next 5 or 6 game weeks is really good, so I don't really want to sell him just yet, but if he doesn't do anything in game week 3 and it's 7 million, I do think I potentially will sell him for game week 4, but I'm going to keep the fair for game week 3, I think. PALMER at home against Fulham. If he's fit, I'll probably roll a transfer because I think the fixtures for Chelsea are really good, but if he's not, I'm going to sell him, but I'm going to wait and see if I get an update. I'm happy to take a price fall of 0.1, 0.2 on Cole Palmer just to be assured what is going to be happening, because I don't want to sell him now just because I don't want to lose 0.1 million, then he's going to be fit and then he plays against Fulham, because I think he's a really good player to have in your side. But if we get an update before the deadline that he's not fit, then I will be selling him. I don't really want to keep him over the international break, because if he's not assured of playing in game week 4 as well, because there'll be an international break, so we won't really get an update. He'll probably stay at Cobham and not get a press conference or an injury update, so we probably won't know until closer up to the deadline of game week 4 if he's going to be fit. So I don't really want to hold on to him and lose 0.3, 0.4 million on Cole Palmer. So if he's not fit for game week 3, he's going to get sold. If he is fit for game week 3, then I'm going to roll the transfer. And then we've got Bruno Fernandes at home against Burnley. He's my captain at the moment. I think this is the fixture that I bought him for, to hopefully get some points. He's not done that well in game week 1 or 2. He's only got me 2 points in each game week, but I'm hoping in game week 3 with captain's armband, he at home against Burnley, he does something. And if he doesn't do well in game week 3 against Burnley, I'll potentially sell him for game week 4. He's away against Manchester City in game week 4, so I think they'll be the last straw. And as I said with Rodgers, it's the same with Watkins. I'm going to stick with him and hope that he does well in game week 3. If he doesn't, then potentially in game week 4 I'll sell him. And if Cole Palmer's fit and I roll the transfer, I'll have 3 free transfers for game week 4. So I could potentially be selling Rodgers, Watkins and Fernandes in game week 4 and have 25 million to buy other players. And then lastly, let's talk about my bench. Dubravka and Steve, I don't think I'm going to play them away against Manchester United. Yes, Man United haven't looked that great, but I don't really want to trust Burnley away against Manchester United, so them two are sticking on my bench. Then we've got Gui and Anderson, and these two I'm not too sure about which one's going to be number 1 on my bench. Gui did come on for his debut in the last 10 minutes against Burnley in the last game, but they've got a Carabao Cup game in the midweek, so I think he'll start that one and then he'll be on the bench for the Premier League game, so I don't think he's going to start this one. My thinking with Anderson as well is if he gets DEFCON points against Manchester United, he can potentially do it against Chelsea. Chelsea was at home against Crystal Palace in game week 1 and they kept a clean sheet, so who knows, but Fulham could do that. So I am thinking of potentially having Anderson as sub number 1. He got DEFCON points last game, so if he does that against Chelsea, they're potentially on 3 or 4 points again. And hopefully if he's at sub number 1 and somebody doesn't start, then Anderson comes into the side and gets a clean sheet and some bonus points and DEFCON points. So I think Gui's going to come on for the last 10 minutes against Brentford, and at that point, does he actually score or not? And potentially he'll only get 1 point. I think Anderson's more chance of getting 2, 3 points, so I think he'll outscore him. So yeah, Anderson's probably going to be sub number 1. And then we've got the updated exit rankings, and at risk we've got Cole Palmer, Watkins and Rodgers. Cole Palmer's on there just because of his fitness, so if he isn't fit, then he could potentially become a sell. If he is fit, then he could potentially just go back onto monitor. And then we've got Rodgers and Watkins, and I think they are at risk, but I don't think I'm going to sell them this game week. I think I'm going to give them another game week because the fixtures are pretty good for Aston Villa in the next few fixtures. But if they don't do anything in game week 3, then they probably will go into the sell category. And I'm hoping they're going to do exactly what João Pedro did. He was the closest to get into the at risk last game week, and then he actually got 15 points and he's jumped into the keep. And if somebody gets injured in the next few days, they'll be sold as well potentially. So in the next few days, we've got a few matches. The Carabao Cup second round is happening, so there's a lot of Premier League sides playing in that, and then we've got European fixtures. So I do recommend holding off on transfers, because if you make a transfer early, you could find out that before deadline that you've got another player injured and you're making a -4 to get them out your side, because they're the ones that you probably should have sold anyway. So I'm going to happily take a 0.1, 0.2 hit on Cole Palmer to find out what is happening with him. But if he is fit and everybody else is fit, then I will roll my transfer. Lastly, I just want to go over Rinders and Williams and why they've dropped from keep to monitor. Remember, I have Rodri and Foden at the start, and what does that mean for Rinders? Does he start? And if he doesn't, I'm going to be a bit worried about him, so I'm keeping a monitor on him. And then we've got Williams at Nottingham Forest, and he's gone from keep to monitor. I'm just keeping my eye on him. Nottingham Forest haven't kept a clean sheet in the first 2 games. They've been a bit unlucky not to keep a clean sheet, but at the same time, at 5 million, there's a lot of 4.5 million defenders that I could potentially buy and still get unlucky with clean sheets, but save myself 0.5 million. So Williams is on the monitor, because if he doesn't keep a clean sheet, I'll get some attacking returns in game week 3. I could potentially sell him in game week 4 and save some money, because Nottingham Forest have got Arsenal in game week 4, so I don't think he's going to keep a clean sheet in that one, so he could potentially get sold in that game week. So he's on the monitor now, and he'll probably be at risk or sell in game week 4 if he doesn't keep a clean sheet, because my defenders don't have the best fixtures in game week 4. Agabadu and Wolves have an away fixture against Newcastle in game week 4, so that's another fixture I'm not looking forward to, so I don't really want to start either of them. I hope you found this informational. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe button. My aim is to get 200 subscribers. I've still not hit that milestone. I'm just 3 away from 200 subscribers, so if you are watching this, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. subscribe, help me get to that milestone. And quickly before I finish this video, if you've got any transfer dilemmas, get in the comment section. That's also the same for benching and captain dilemmas. If you've got any, get in the comment section and let me know, and I will go through them all on my next video and give you advice on what you think you should do. So please do get in the comment section and give me your dilemmas and I'll try and help you out. Anyway, signing off. I'll see you on Thursday for another video. Goodbye.